Before time as we know it began, in a realm of pure light and unimaginable glory, there was only peace. Heaven, the dwelling place of God, was a symphony of perfect harmony. Legions of angels, beings of pure spirit and immense power, served the Almighty, their voices rising in a constant chorus of praise. Among them, one stood brighter than all others. His name was Lucifer, the light-bearer, the morning star. He was magnificent, adorned with every precious stone, a masterpiece of divine creation. His wisdom was profound, his beauty unparalleled. He walked among the fiery stones on God's holy mountain, a guardian cherub of the highest order. He led the heavenly choirs, his voice the most powerful, his understanding of worship the most complete. But within this perfection, a seed of darkness began to sprout. Looking at his own reflection in the crystal sea, Lucifer saw not the glory of his Creator, but his own brilliance. A thought, venomous and subtle, slithered into his mind. Why should I serve? Why am I not the one being served? Pride, the most ancient of sins, took root in his heart. He began to see his own beauty not as a gift, but as a right. He coveted the throne of the Most High. He looked at the Son of God, the one through whom all things were created, and a bitter jealousy consumed him. He could not comprehend the Father's love for the Son, a love that placed the Son above all creation. Lucifer began to sow discord, whispering doubts into the ears of other angels. He was subtle, a master of deception. He twisted the truth, painting God's laws of love as restrictive chains, and his own ambition as a quest for liberty and greater glory for all. He would ask, "Has God truly given you all things? Are you not capable of more? Why should we be bound by laws when we could be as gods ourselves?" He presented a false choice, the tyranny of God versus the freedom he offered. A third of the angelic host, swayed by his charisma and his deceptive promises, listened. They were mesmerized by his light, failing to see the growing darkness within it. The harmony of heaven was shattered. The eternal song was replaced by the dissonant murmur of rebellion. The lines were drawn. On one side stood God, enthroned in righteousness, with Michael the archangel leading the faithful legions. Michael, whose name means who is like God, stood as a powerful rebuke to Lucifer's pride. On the other side stood Lucifer, now a twisted shadow of his former self, his light corrupted into a consuming fire. With him were the angels who had chosen his path of pride and rebellion. Then, as the book of Revelation tells us, war broke out in heaven. This was not a war of flesh and blood, but a cataclysmic conflict of spirit and will, of light against darkness, of truth against the lie. Imagine the heavens, once a sea of tranquility, now a storm of unimaginable power. Flashes of spiritual energy, brighter than 1,000,000,000 suns, tore across the celestial expanse. The clash of angelic wills would have sounded like the shattering of galaxies. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. Lucifer was now revealed for what he had become: the great dragon, that ancient serpent, called the devil, and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He and his angels fought with all the fury of their pride. They were powerful, their rage immense. They believed their combined strength and Lucifer's cunning could overthrow the throne of the Almighty. But how can creation stand against the Creator? How can darkness overcome infinite light? The power of God, channeled through Michael and the loyal angels, was absolute. Every lie of Satan was met with the unshakable truth of God's character. Every assault of pride was broken against the shield of humility and love. The rebels fought, but their cause was hollow, built on a foundation of self-deceit. The battle raged, but its outcome was never in doubt. Lucifer, the light-bearer, was overcome. There was no longer a place for him in heaven. The Bible says he was thrown down, hurled from the heights of glory to the earth below. And his angels were cast out with him. Imagine that fall. A being of such beauty and power, stripped of his position, his glory turned to shame, plummeting from the presence of God into the void. The moment he was cast out, a loud voice echoed through heaven, a cry of both victory and warning. Now have come the salvation, and the power and the kingdom of our God, and the authority of his Christ, for the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down. who accuses them day and night before our God. The heavens could rejoice, cleansed of the rebellion. Peace, for a moment, was restored to the celestial courts. But the voice continued with a solemn woe, "Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows that his time is short." The war wasn't over, it had just moved to a new battlefield. The earth. And at the heart of this new conflict was God's newest, most beloved creation, humanity. Satan, his heart filled with hatred for the God he could not defeat, turned his fury upon us. He brought his lies to the Garden of Eden, whispering the same poison to Eve that he had whispered to the angels, "You can be as gods." And the tragedy repeated itself. The war that began in heaven now rages within the human heart and across the pages of history. But the story doesn't end in defeat. The same Son of God, whose position Satan so jealously coveted, did the unthinkable. He humbled himself, left the glories of heaven, and became a man, Jesus Christ. On the cross, he faced the full fury of the darkness that Satan commands, and he defeated it not with overwhelming power, but with sacrificial love. He broke the power of sin and death, providing a way back to the Father for all who would believe. The war continues, but the decisive battle has already been won. We are now soldiers in this spiritual conflict, but we don't fight alone. We fight under the banner of the one who has already defeated the enemy. Michael and the holy angels are still at work, ministering to and protecting those who belong to God. The story of the war in heaven is a timeless reminder. It is a warning against the destructive power of pride and a testament to the ultimate victory of God's love and righteousness. Lucifer's fall from grace is the ultimate tragedy, a lesson written across the cosmos. But the victory in heaven is the ultimate promise that no matter how fierce the battle, no matter how dark the night, the light will always win. The kingdom of our God will stand forever. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores these profound truths.